All right, so hello everyone. We're Firm Sonic of the Brahms industry, and we're here today to talk about our experience with the Markstrat simulation. So this presentation will cover the overall performance of the firm after 8 rounds of marketing decisions, with some detail into each of our brands. Then we'll discuss some lessons learned, both good and bad, based on our experience with the simulation. Finally, we'll talk about some of the fundamentals of marketing and how they relate to the simulation. We'll talk about the importance of targeting specific segments using the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. The firm achieved consistent performance, growing share price index about 8% year over year with no faults. This resulted in our final standing being third of 6 in the overall industry. You can see this in the top right chart, the blue line being Sonic. Additionally, Sonic's contributions, which is similar to earnings, saw steady performance and growth across the 8 periods and landed in a strong second place in the industry of 6 firms. The firm had a strong performance in terms of overall market share of units sold. This is partially due to the fact that our strongest products targeted the shoppers and savers segments, which were large and grew during the simulation. We'll discuss the lessons in the lessons learned section, how we picked up on certain details of the simulation around the period 3 decision time frame. And the result of this can be seen in the market share chart. We played a strong part in giving Team Top Gun a run for their money in the later periods after they maintained absolute dominance early on in the simulation, and this can be seen in the chart. Next, Anisha is going to go into more detail about our specific brands.
Sonic had 4 products total. Our 2 top products were Soft and Solo. As per the chart from period 8, you can see, click to next slide, based on purchase intentions, Soft, which was at the low end of the market, targeted savers. Solo, which was more in the middle of the market, targeted shoppers. Soho and SOC were more on the high end of the market. Soho targeted professionals and SOC targeted high earners. If we go back to the previous slide, savers and shoppers had the largest market size through the entire 8 periods. The segments just continued to grow. The chart to the right shows the growth in these 2 segments from periods 4 through 8. For both Soft and Solo, our brand awareness started at the highest for the individual segments and was maintained for the entire 8 periods. Sonic R&D'd both products a few times to align them with the ideal values. We realized that in order to maximize sales, it was very important that the features of the products were aligned with the ideal values of the market segment. Soft started off a little weak in the market since it was a low-end product. We were actually considering decommissioning this product after period 5, but then it took a turn and started doing really well. We believe this was because of the growth in the saver segment for the market and also because our product features were aligned with the ideal values. So we were successful in creating a product that savers desired. Solo was the leader in the shopper segment in periods 1 through 4. Then in period 5, we started to get some competition from the other teams, so we dropped a couple ranks in the market. We were also a little hesitant to lower the price on Solo because we knew this was our top product. Then around period 7, we finally lowered the price, and this change helped increase our sales. Around period 5, we decided to create 2 new products to target professionals and high earners, since there wasn't a lot of competition in these markets. We introduced Soho in the 6th period. This product targeted professionals, and we introduced SOC in the 7th period. This product targeted high earners. Both of these products did not perform as well as we expected, even though both products were well perceived by the individual segments and the product features were aligned with the ideal values for the segment. We believe the low performance may have been because we did not have enough in our budget to spend on advertising to increase brand awareness and to align the perceptual objectives of these products, and also because we introduced these products a little too late in the game. Our sales, market share, and purchase intention stayed relatively low for these two products. Next, Liz is going to talk about our keys to success. Liz?
One of the keys to our team's success was spending money on market research. This enabled us to use ideal values for brand characteristics and pricing. In other words, giving the customer what they want. From the outset, our team recognized the importance of focusing on one market segment for each brand. Our resource allocation strategy was to commit 100% to the targeted segment of each brand. By accurately using our commercial team and making sound marketing decisions, we were able to increase our team's total market share by 5%. And finally, the team was adequately able to forecast production based on the previous period's sales and anticipated segment growth for the upcoming period. We were also successful with predicting the need for additional production with the release of a new R&D project or a price cut. This resulted in a few missed sales or fees for holding inventory. We were fortunate to start out as leaders in the two segments with the most growth, savers and shoppers. The savers market share increased 12% over 8 periods, from 29% to 41%. For shoppers, the increase was 19%, went from 19% to 38%. Our strategy was effective, the evidence of which you can see by our success in our market share of number of units sold. Matt?
There are several things that we could have done differently. First, we did not input perception numbers early on, and we were largely unaware of them in Markstrat. Once we began to use them, we saw how valuable they were. Initially, we also did not use the ideal values when making R&D projects. This most likely caused our next issue, which was doing too many R&D projects. Not using the ideal values caused us to not understand why our R&D projects were not working, creating a cycle of money spent on poor R&D projects that could have been better used elsewhere. Finally, we launched several new projects, Soho and SOC, too late for them to gain market share and make a difference in our SPI. Doing so many R&D projects early on made it financially difficult to launch new products. Had we better recognized the importance of using ideal values in our R&D projects, we could have spent less on them and more quickly developed new products. Nick?
We'll talk about the importance of the 4 Ps of marketing on the upcoming slides. These are product, price, place, and promotion. Each of these is a tool to make a sale attractive to an individual within a particular segment. On this slide, you can see that there are 5 unique segments that we targeted in the Markstrat simulation. They each have unique desires that must be met in order for our firm to be successful. We started with products targeting the shoppers and savers segments. At first, we generalized these two groups as being basically the same. Quickly, we learned that they are very distinct. Savers are typically looking for low-cost, low-performance products that they can pick up at mass merchandising stores or online. Shoppers, on the other hand, aren't looking for low performance. They're focused on a high quality-to-price ratio, meaning they want some bang for their buck. Later in the simulation, we targeted professionals and high earners. It took a period or two for the firm to get used to these segments, which are not price-sensitive. Professionals are looking for quality, performance, and convenience for a mix of personal and professional use. They view higher prices as an indicator of higher quality. High earners are focused mostly on performance and convenience and prefer high prices as part of their social status. We didn't target explorers, the smallest segment. They're into the products themselves and are looking for features and performance. They flock to stores when new releases occur and can be deterred by high prices. Matt?
There are 5 unique features that are important to the product. Features, which includes hardware and software. Design, which includes material, components, positioning, sizing. Battery life, display life, and power, which includes processing speed for graphics. The ideal values showed us what our target market expected in their product, and although we initially struggled with this due to not understanding how to use them as well as their importance, once we started using the ideal values in our R&D projects, we started to gain market share, especially for soft. Liz?
During the first few periods, we determined our brand prices by reacting to the competition. We would look at the previous period retail price of the most successful targeted segment competitors and adjust our retail price accordingly. By the time we were halfway through the simulation, we had learned to use the semantic scales from our marketing research to determine the different segment ideal price values. Members of our team used different methods to arrive at this figure. One, extrapolating from the price of the segment brand perceived by consumers to be closest to their ideal value, and the other using a mathematical formula. The numbers were almost always identical. Even armed with confidence in the ideal price, our team was conservative, proceeded cautiously, and carefully considered significant price changes. Our team's advertising decisions and commercial team channel allocation effectively placed our team at the top of the mass merchandisers and in second place for online and specialty stores. Our final commercial team consisted of 50 salespeople for mass merchandising, 40 for specialty stores, and 20 for online stores. Anisha?
We learned that high brand awareness does not necessarily mean that your product will sell the most or be the most profitable. You can see from the chart that even though Soft and Solo had the average highest brand awareness, in the final period, Soft ranked number 2 in the Savers segment, and Solo ranked number 3 in the Shopper segment. We realized we spent and focused too much on brand awareness and not enough on perceptual objectives up until the 5th period. We also needed to increase our advertising budget, especially on our two new products, Soho and Sock. But we had limited funds when the products were introduced, so we're only able to increase advertisement for the products in period 8. It was also important for us to spend on market research to see what our competitors were doing. We would not have been able to align our products with the ideal values or make distribution decisions without these research reports. Sonic also realized that in order to maximize our advertising budget, we had to focus marketing on specific market segments. It seemed more effective to advertise to one particular segment per product based on purchase intention. This brings us to the end of Sonic's Markstrat presentation. In conclusion, Sonic finished in 3rd place out of 6 for the Markstrat competition Spring 2016. This has been a great learning experience for the group. Thank you, and if you have any questions, feel free to email us.